Well, hello peeps, here is Mikadika coming to you looking like a mess, and yeah, we might not even stay on camera because of that. I just woke up, and also like a tough night sleeping, so we're gonna be making a video that I've been holding off for making for probably like 5 days or something like that. And obviously we're gonna be talking about why I haven't been on kind of a break, why I haven't been making much content, and we're gonna talk about also some issues that I've been kind of holding off, or I haven't like spoken about, like talking about the developers of this game and talking about just YouTube content in general when it comes to WoW. So first things first, peeps, the reason why I have been on a break and I have not been releasing much content is very simple. I've been playing the game casually. I've been just playing the game on a very casual level, and I did say that in a last video that I created, the Season 2 is much better than Season 1, or better in many ways, maybe not much better, but better in many ways, and much more enjoyable in many ways, but still, I'm playing on a much more casual level, and every time I'm logging in, it's logging in to play with friends, right? I'm not logging in to just play by myself, I'm not logging in to create videos, and playing on a casual level, I just feel like I can't really create the educational style content that I used to create for you peeps, right? Like, I can't really make like a solo shuffle breakdown when my gameplay is like 60% of what I can actually do. I can't really do guides as well, because I feel like why would I maybe making a guide when I'm not, you know, playing it peak levels, I'm not playing it at like a maximum level, I'm not also investing enough time into the game where I can create the guides. So unfortunately, just for how much time I'm investing in WoW right now, I can't make those videos that I really want to make. I'm just not a fan of making tier lists and like opinion videos on like a constant basis, right? I like to make some gameplay, I like to make some guides, but I also think the big thing for me is like making opinion style videos is absolutely useless. After making them for like about 2 years, talking about the problems around the game, and I think at this point also a lot of other content creators have realized this, but just making these opinion style videos about the game, how you can fix the game, is just useless, right? Like, these videos are never gonna do anything, right? Like, I mean, something like solo queue took them such a long time to add from when people actually started to ask for it. So anything that you actually put out, any kind of good opinion that you put out, you feel like ultimately just is wasted because nothing happens around it, right? Like, sure, maybe it is a little bit, I would say egocentric for you to think that any video that you make should have like an impact. And I honestly don't think so. But when you have the community at large screaming that something needs to be fixed, giving opinions on how it should be fixed, even having an agreement on how something should be fixed, and then Blizzard does absolutely nothing about it, I think that's the heartbreaking part of just making these style videos. And why I have stopped, why I just don't feel like me talking about the problems of WoW has any kind of point, right? Like, I can talk about it forever and it's still not gonna change the game, it's still not gonna make the game better, because ultimately it's not me who is making the game, right? It is the developers. And the developers, I don't think they're listening, I don't think they care. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more, but I just feel like they don't really care about PvP. I think PvP is just an afterthought. At this point, I think these things are just very, very clear. Now, one gameplay related thing that I do want to talk about is that we need double DPS queues right now. Like, when I say right now, I mean right this minute. Like, this is the thing that is making this game, I think, like 30% less fun. The queues obviously just being horrendous is a big part of it, and there's other things as well, right? But I think the fact that you and a buddy who are both DPS enjoyers can't play together because your DPS enjoyers, I think, is an atrocity. Sure, that might increase the queues or do something like that, even in like a bad way, but at this point I really don't care. The queues are already so bad and atrocious that yeah, going a little bit more worse, it doesn't really like, I think it's not like going a 5% worse is not gonna like destroy the game all of a sudden, I feel like. So but the double DPS queues is just something that feels so missing in this game. Obviously solo shuffle is created in such a way that it's a free-for-all, it's not solo queue, it's a solo shuffle, right? Let's call it like what it is. It's not a solo queue of 3 versus 3 arenas, it's a solo shuffle, right? It's a shuffled up situation. So obviously solo shuffle would need to be changed into an actual solo queue where you can actually then play some double DPS queues. For Battleground Blitz, I really don't get it. I guess they're worried of having too much impact or something, or they just want to make it sure that you're actually like making queues faster by queuing up some healer, but I don't really like care about that at this point. I just feel like it's super anti-fun, that the only thing that I can play with my friends who are also DPS, and we are just like 2 DPS, the only thing that we can play is skirmishes and just unranked modes. And if you want to play a ranked mode, then we better hop on a mage and a rogue, right? Because you're not playing double DPS anything other than a mage and a rogue. So the only gameplay thing that we're gonna talk about is gonna be that we need double DPS queues right now. I feel like this is gonna increase the fun of the game so much more. I feel like I'm gonna want to come into the game, call my friend up and be like, hey, let's go queue up some BGBs, right? Let's go queue up some solo queue, right? I feel like that's gonna be an actual thing that I'm gonna do, right? Right now, when I want to play some WoW with a friend who's also just a DPS player, it's like, hey man, do you want to play some, random BGs? No, not really. I don't want to play versus pre-mades. Like every third game is a pre-made anyways, right? So like I don't want to waste my time playing versus pre-mades. I want to play versus pre-mades, queue syncing and all that. So why can't we just do some double DPS? I feel like that's such a missed opportunity. Another thing we're gonna talk about here. Now, another thing that I've been holding on like saying anything because I don't think it would have been very useful, but at this point I'm just gonna like fire off. I feel like the big thing about WoW PvP dying is just the devs. They don't care, and I think this is a top-down issue. I feel like Ian Nazakostas is the person who doesn't care, right? Every time I hear him talk about PvP, it's always something good I hear, and I think he really can talk the talk, but ultimately when it comes to actually making these into fruition, making these things exist, never happens, man. Nothing ever happens. I've heard him say before the War Within came out, like they're gonna focus on PvP, like finally give PvP its day in the light, right? I heard him say post the War Within, like they're gonna do some focus on PvP. They said this in Dragonflight as well. It just feels like every time this dude talks about PvP, he has some really good stuff to say, but just nothing ever happens. And it's like a politician, right? Like it's like so many promises and not a single one of them ever happens. So I think Ian should definitely try to look into going into politics and getting out of game development, because definitely seems to be his shtick. And yeah, I think it's a top-down issue. I don't think this is like oh, Ian cares about it, but his developers under him don't care, or it's like some investor is crying about PvP having to be destroyed. I don't think there's an investor who wants part of his player base to go away, right? I don't think there is developers who are like trying to sandbag PvP, right? While literally their boss is telling them work on this, make this good, and they're like destroying it on purpose. I think this is a top-down issue where from the top down nobody cares, right? And when the person who is hiring also doesn't care about PvP, they're never gonna hire anybody who cares about PvP as well. So I just feel like this is a developer issue. And so yeah, I think definitely the big thing for WoW PvP, one of the biggest issues is just developers not caring, not giving the work that it should be done, right? Not giving the work that we deserve for how much money we put into this game, right? I've done the math many times, peeps, like, so you should know that we're worth like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 million, I can't remember now exactly, per expansion to them. So people saying that like PvP is a minority is completely true, but we are not an insignificant minority that makes zero money for Blizzard. We make them a lot of money and we get literally nothing in return. And yeah, I think at this point the node development has just hit its big point, right? Like you just can't ignore how little actually goes into PvP. And now let's talk a little bit about just YouTube content and WoW PvP YouTube in general. I do have to preface this by saying that I'm not making any kind of personal attacks onto any of the content creators that we might mention. I'm just specifically going to use some people as an example, right? And for the situation that's just going on right now. So I feel like PvP YouTube content has never been more uninspired, and every single video that I see is just tunings video, talking about some changes video, what are the best classes video, top 5 spec video, top most fun spec video. It's all the same exact, what I usually refer to as bottom of the barrel content, because it's just easiest to create. But yeah, it's just all same stuff, and whenever I turn on YouTube, at this point I'm not even like almost checking what's the new WoW videos, because there's nothing new good. People are not really watching gameplay, so why would people like be putting out gameplay, right? Any gameplay videos that I see have like 1,000 views or 2,000 views, even from more established content creators with a lot more subs than me, right? So it just feels like a very weird and bad situation right now when it comes to WoW PvP. Like I really have been enjoying over the last 2 years turning on some Super Ts, turning on some Rookie. But what is the point right now? Even if I'm still interested in WoW, right, interested in the game, it's just exact same videos being rehashed and being made over and over again right now. Like it's just best specs, tunings video, new best specs tunings video, like on like repeat. And again, what's the point in making an opinion style video? What's the point of sitting down thinking about how we can fix the game, make the game better, when the developers are gonna do absolutely nothing about it, right? Like you're just not gonna see any kind of movement, positive movement, right? Like it's just like when you're doing CPR on somebody who needs CPR, and it's just like, you know, zero like movement, like not even a twitch, an eye twitch. So I can personally completely understand the situation, right? Even myself, I would probably sit down right now, usually, if this was like a year ago, and make some opinion videos. How we can fix this class, how we can fix this part of the game, etc. But what's the point, man? Like, nothing's gonna happen. I'm just gonna invest time into making it. People might even invest time into thinking about it, like talking about it in the comments, whatever. Ultimately, nothing will happen, right? Because Blizzard is the one that has to work on this. Blizzard devs are the ones that have to sit down, brainstorm, and come up with these ideas. Even though they have ideas from the community, at this point, they have so many ideas from the community. They have so many things that people have like worked on together, right on, and yeah, they still ignore it. So ultimately, I just think there's like a big problem when it comes to just developers listening to the community. So ultimately, obviously, this is just a problem that comes directly from Blizzard, and people at this point feel like the game has been abandoned. People are just not gonna be as inspired on making new videos for your game if you yourself don't care. Now, obviously, peeps, there's still many issues, right, that we talked about in like my recent video. The seasonal right model for PvP just absolutely does not work or falls flat on its face. However you want to put it, I just feel like it's something that needs to get changed like right away. Nobody cares to refarm the exact same gear all over again. Nobody cares to be time gated for weeks and weeks and weeks on end to be at their actual full power level because we don't have the tier set. Nobody cares anymore for having a tier set that's made for PvE in PvP. Like, we want PvP tier sets. We want tier sets that make sense for PvP. We want tier sets that make PvP more fun, right? We want tier sets that are not gonna make ourselves like feel like an absolute slot machine all of a sudden because, yeah, we just have a slot machine style tier set. So there's many things that I feel like there are still big issues that we talked about recently that we're not gonna be covering today directly. So what does this mean for the channel, peeps? Well, unfortunately, since I'm not playing the game in such a way, I can't really make the guides that you're used to. I can't really make the educational style content that you're used to. I also am not gonna start just making the same kind of style of content everybody else is making, right? Sure, I've made tunings videos in the past, usually when they matter to the classes that I play. Sure, I've made tier lists in the past as well, but falling down the route of just making the exact same videos that everybody is basically also making as well in the same time, it just feels pointless to me. Making opinion style videos, which I really enjoy, sitting down, thinking about the game, thinking how I can solve a problem. I think I'm a problem solver naturally, so I think this is something that I just like doing. But what's the point, right? What's the point of me solving a problem for Blizzard when they're not gonna do anything about it themselves, right? Even if somebody else has solved the problem for them, they just don't do anything about it. Like, they just let it be. So unfortunately, like, making opinion style videos just feels to me very, very pointless. So basically, peeps, I'm definitely gonna be taking a break from WoW here. I'm pretty sure I'm taking a break probably till the end of this season or towards the end of this season. I'm probably gonna start playing as it kind of reaches the end. And yeah, my life has just changed. I forgot to kind of talk about that earlier, but I'm no longer the guy who just got out of the hospital, right? I'm no longer the guy who's stuck in his house. I am kind of trying to live my life a lot more now these days that I'm physically healthy, and I'm trying to, you know, get out of the house, man. Like, I've been stuck here for 2 years, so I just don't have the same amount of time for gaming. So basically what this means is I'm definitely taking a little bit of a WoW break, specifically when it comes to content creation, because I'm still playing the game with some friends when they are online, but this is like maybe 5 hours a week. And I don't feel like if I'm putting in like 5 hours into a game a week that I can really seriously make educational style videos or opinion even videos. It's just not enough gameplay time. So my assumption is that I'm definitely gonna be a more WoW casual until kind of reaching towards the end of the season, where I'm probably gonna start playing a lot more, and at that point you're gonna start receiving some videos from me again. And as the new season starts, right, we're gonna receive some new videos again when it comes to WoW. But until then, we are definitely on a little WoW break. My current plan is to do some streaming of some single player style games, that I've been kind of wanting to play or enjoy. So the first two things that are on the menu are going to be either Kazan the First Berserker or Black Myth Wukong. We might even do like a PvP style series where I pick up a game that I haven't played in some time and I try to grind out some rank, basically a 0 to 1800 situation, just in a different game. So peeps, if you made it this far, I absolutely salute you. Hats off, like, comment, subscribe, all those things YouTubers want you to do, and I hope you have a nice day.